It's time for the podcast from two guys who still think fart jokes are funny. It's the Morning Five, sponsored by Marine South.
You know what the day is? Taco Tuesday!
Shane Spikeman.
Taco Tuesday!
They go for speed or for comfort?
You'll get nothing like it.
Wake up, West Georgia. It's time for your favorite morning podcast. It is the Morning Five for Tuesday, April the 21st, 2026. Welcome in. It's been a little bit since we've done a podcast, since Bryce and I did one last Thursday, and we're back at it. And this time I get my buddy Patrick Edson back in the fold. How are you, buddy?
Man, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to even get through this, to be quite honest with you. I mean, so much has changed. We've got this new fangled video thing that we're doing with this, which is kind of cool. But man, it's been a long spring, man. All the basketball that we did in late winter, early spring that everybody was doing, and now the baseball, and now we're heading into the GHSA postseason. Man, it's been a fun spring. It's been wild, honestly, and I'm glad we're able to do it, and I'm very thankful for having the job that we do. But it has taken away from TM5 a little bit, but I mean, you know what? TM5 will continue to go. We do have listeners, believe it or not. As much as we joke that we don't have listeners, we do have some listeners. The amount of time that I'll get listening to this? Yeah, somebody. Oh my gosh. Better be respectful. Tell you what, I'll give a shout out right now. The Blind Donkey Runner listens every single podcast. Oh man, every single one. My girlfriend does too. So, well, I was about to say, I mean, I hope she does. Oh my gosh, Garsh. Patrick, today is National Chocolate Covered Cashews Day. Are you a big chocolate covered cashew guy? I like cashews, Billy Lindahl, and I like chocolate. So the answer to that question would be absolutely. If it is a chocolate covered nut of any kind, I'm probably going to eat it. That's fair. I think I've made it abundantly clear on this podcast. I'm not a big fan of nuts in my mouth. Yes, you have. And cashews are nuts. So, oh boy. There you go. There we go. We're starting off early. Welcome back to it, buddy. I don't know if my senses are going to be able to take it, man. Oh my gosh. You've been so buttoned up with your broadcasts, and I'm over here just cutting cheese on it. Yes, absolutely. Boy, this is going to be fun. It's also National Tea Day. I'm also going to pass on this. I'm not a fan of tea. I've always, and people can mock me all they want to, I've never been a big fan of tea. My grandmother is from the north, and she would make sun tea, but it would be unsweet. And then every time I've tried tea, it's not for me. It's just not. So we're talking like sweet tea, unsweet tea, any kind of tea. I'm not a fan with lemonade, tea, Arnold Palmer style. Nope, nothing. Wow, man. I grew up in the state of Georgia, which sweet tea, mom sweet tea, grandma sweet tea. That's like the official beverage of the state of Georgia. So it doesn't bother me. I probably don't drink as much as I used to. Trying to stay, towards the diet drinks or water now as I'm getting older. But I will on occasion have a nice glass of sweet tea at one of my favorite local restaurants if I'm out having a good meal. Yeah. Well, Patrick, let's get started, as we've had a very, very successful start to the season for the Atlanta Braves. The Braves just won last night again, 9-5. A big win for the Braves. That is win number 6 in a row, and that pushes them to 16-7. 16-7. Yeah, man, it's an impressive start, Billy. I think you sent out over unders for TM5 on the Braves season before the season started, and I I wasn't this positive, to be quite honest with you. A lot of question marks, and I think it's was legitimate, rightfully so. And they had a lot of question marks going into the season, especially in that starting rotation after the top three, and then you lose Profar again. I mean, geez. And then, you're not sure what the back end of your bullpen will be, but man, you said 16-7. So we're 23 games in. And right now, man, they're looking like, the Braves of 2021, to be quite honest with you.
Most wins in Major League Baseball right now. Bryce Elder continues to impress.
Oh, yeah, man.
4 runs last night. 3 of them were earned. But honestly, he went into the 7th inning and looked really good. After that first inning where he gave up 2 runs last night, he seemed like it's not that he settled down. It just seemed like he got a grip of the baseball.
Yeah.
It was a cold night in DC. And that happens. You see that happen in baseball. And for Bryce Elder to get past that first inning, figure out the grip issues, and be able to really turn it on after that, he looked great. He looked like Bryce Elder has all season long. And Bryce Elder has been a sub-1 ERA.
Yeah, and the grip on a sinker ball pitcher like Elder, I mean, it's important. He's got to be able to feel that baseball in his hand so that he can throw that sinker to be effective. And you're right. After that first inning, he really settled in and looked spectacular. And I'll be honest with you, Bill, I've never really had a problem with Bryce Elder, but for the last 2 seasons, people have wanted to toss this guy to the curb, and I've just never understood that, because I've always felt, when you give Bryce Elder, you give him his role, you give him the ball every 5th day, and he knows what he's capable of doing, and when he has the confidence in his stuff, I mean, he's as good as anybody in that 4th or 5th place in the rotation in Major League Baseball.
Down the stretch last year, absolutely. There was no doubt that Bryce Elder was one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball. However, going into the first half of that year and previously into his career, it has been a roller coaster for Bryce Elder. Yep. He'd have really good starts, and then he'd have a valley of really bad starts back to back to back. So the fact that he has been very consistent all season long has been very welcoming for the Atlanta Braves rotation. Chris Sale continues to look good. We're going to have a bit of a rotation issue, because when Spencer Strider comes back, who do you take out? Are you going to take out? I mean, who do you do at this point? Because everybody's having a great year.
Well, I think if you were to look right now today, I think it might be Grant Holmes. I mean, he is not, the last couple outings have not been very good in terms of stuff. It could be that. I mean, they could throw him out in that bullpen. He could be your long arm, do the spot start thing. But let's see what Martin Perez really is after May. The end of May. But yeah, Braves are going to have some tough decisions, not only on the pitching staff, but on their bench, especially when Sean Murphy is available and ready to come back. The 3 guys that you kind of target, Jonah Heim, and then Eli White, and then there was one other is out of options. There are 3 players that are out of options. It's Kyle Hunter, I think it is. And so when you think about those 3 players, which one is the one that you want to say, hey, man, thanks, but, we've got Sean Murphy coming back, and it's going to be thank you for your service. The best of luck to you. So big time decisions coming for Alex Anthopoulos and Walt Weiss.
And let's not forget too, and I just forgot his name, but our shortstop is coming back as well. He's actually got a simulated game on Thursday.
Yep.
That is, he should be coming back relatively soon too. So you add them and add that kind of depth, and you move Devon off of a starting role and you move him into where he can just spot fill, any of the spots on our entire lineup outside of catcher. I mean, he can start anywhere, and he'll do fine. But this team has been very well constructed, and Patrick, I'll be the first one to say it. When we were going into it, I was like, this team is not constructed well enough for me to say that this is going to be a postseason team at the beginning of the year. And honestly, now that I've seen this team and how they've played and how Walt Weiss has managed, and he has managed his ass off for the first 23, 25 games of the season, and how he's managed the bench, how he's managed the bullpen, swapping Suarez and Iggy in the back end, 8 and 9, and Suarez being able to have the cojones to be like, sure, I don't mind coming in at the 8th. I've been a closer in my life, but I don't mind coming into the 8th. Let's do it. And he has been stellar, and I've really enjoyed seeing him. So it's a really, really intriguing team. I don't want to get too over my skis when I'm talking about this team, because we're 23 games in. We've still got 100.
There's a lot of baseball right now, in the end of September, for sure.
But this team is starting to separate in the standings, and that's something you have to pay attention to. I know it's only April 21st, but when you're looking down and you've got a 5-game lead in the standings already, that's saying something.
Well, look, man, I mean, if the shoe's on the other foot, the Braves a year ago, I mean, they were 0-7 and they never recovered from that. So, I mean, I'd much rather be 5 games up than 7 games back at the end of April. So, man, I'm tickled pink. I'm super excited. I think I told you and the whole group when I sent my over-unders in, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I am dead wrong on all of these, because there's nothing better than playoff baseball except playoff baseball when the Braves are in, And so that, to me, I want to be watching playoff baseball come October.
Yeah. The Metsing is incredible.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely
they're
beautiful.
Sitting at 11 games lost in a row, which is great.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people in New York that are questioning their election of their mayor, because ever since the mayor showed up for the Mets game, they haven't won. They haven't won a single game since.
He's been kind of rough on the Mets, and then his comments about Trey Young and ticket prices. Man, come on, dude, take some breaths.
Billy getting swept by us for the first time since 2016 was the last time.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet over the weekend, man. And they looked so dang good, man. It was fun to watch. I got to watch a little bit of baseball this weekend. That was a lot of fun.
And here's the thing too, Patrick, and this is something that I think is very different with this team compared to years past. We've gone down a few times over the weekend, especially against Philly. You'd see, like, on Sunday, we went down 2-0 on the Schwarber home run. I never panicked as a Braves fan. Like, you, in the back of your mind, you're always got the Atlanta fan thing, right? It's like,
right. You're going to have that till the day you die if you're an Atlanta fan. Yes. So.
But with this particular team, like, I'm like, there is so many more outs that we have left to go in this game, and I have utmost confidence in this offense. The offense continues to look good. We talked about it last year, Patrick, about Tim Hires and the job he did as the hitting coach, and then also bringing in the Mets pitching coach and seeing what this pitching staff has done and completely knocked off runs per or ERA has been outstanding. Walt Weiss and what his coaching staff has done has been, I think it's an A+ job right now.
Yeah, he is definitely. If you were handing out Manager of the Year trophies at the end of April, he would definitely be your winner. Do they do Managers of the Month anymore? They used to back in the day. I don't think they do that anymore. So, but yeah, he's really impressed. I think they just they look like a team that plays with more of an edge, and that's not a shot at Brian Snicker by any means. I just think it's a different style. I think he's, telling these guys this is the way we're going to play and we're going to have this identity. And right now they're playing to that identity. And I think that's why they had that 5-game lead.
Case in point in what happened last night, the fact that Ronald got hit twice last night, and the next time up, Bryce Elder sees Abrams and says, "I'm hitting you."
Yep, he's got a nice plump booty to hit, and he hit him right in the booty, man. Yep, absolutely.
Very old school baseball like.
Yes,
I was so happy to see that because
I was too. Yep,
you miss old school baseball where the wrestling. The way wrestlers say it is you have a receipt coming, right?
Yes, that's right.
This is what you have, a receipt coming. And Abrams took that receipt. And at that point, baseball, you're done. Like, I did this, we're done. Like, we're all square, right?
Yep, that's
and,
right.
The umpires had to get together, and I was going to be like throwing remotes through TVs if they decided to throw Bryce out for that. But the fact that they got together and just did the warnings, I was like, okay, everything is good. That's just typical old school baseball. But just seeing that was good to see, man. Honestly.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. It's nothing better than players policing themselves. You know what I'm saying? And when it's done the right way, when baseball's played the right way, and you see that, I mean, it's a beautiful game, man. No doubt about it.
Let's talk about the Atlanta Hawks, and they are in a dogfight right now with the New York Knickerbockers. 98-92 with 5.5 minutes left to play here as we're recording on Monday evening. But honestly, game one, it just seemed like the Hawks couldn't stop certain runs. And Patrick, you and I talked about it before we started recording. We've got a big issue, and that big issue is named
Karl Anthony Towns, anyone? Yes. Lord. Yeah. Big time. He presents a big time matchup issue for the Hawks. And right now the Hawks look like a team that is not, they've looked like this team since the Trae Young trade. And that is a team that if they get out and run and they want and look to score points in transition a whole lot, but when they have to slow down and grind out possessions, which is what the Knicks love to do, and when you have a player of Karl Anthony Towns' caliber to be able to do it with, along with Jalen Brunson, that makes the Knicks a tough out. But I still like the matchup for the Hawks. If they could somehow steal game 2 tonight and come back to Atlanta and State Farm Arena, down just 1-1 at an even series, I should say, at 1-1. Let me just say this to you. I think this is the most compelling series of all the series in the NBA playoffs right now, Eastern Conference and Western Conference, because I just feel like these teams match up so well, even with the mismatch that Towns presents. The Hawks present matchup problems for the Knicks, I believe. The key for the Hawks in this series is going to be Jalen Johnson and how quickly he can grow up and be a basketball player in the playoffs. Well, he hasn't seen this yet, and he's looked a little shell-shocked at times, not only in game 1, but also in game 2.
Yeah, 4 points at the half in game number 2. That's not exactly what you expect from Jalen Johnson, who is your unequivocal leader here. Listen, CJ McCollum's on this team, Nikhil Anthony Walker's on this team. Fine. Jalen is your leader. And you could tell that by what he does on the court, and everyone will look up to him and see what he's doing. And honestly, the thing, Patrick, and you and I haven't really talked about this since probably the fall and early winter. Yeah. The fact after Trae got traded, this team can play some defense.
Yeah, it is. Yes,
it's incredible to watch.
Yes, it is.
Watching them play defense, getting transitions, getting turnovers, and moving to transition offense has been outstanding. And this is exactly what you expected from the Atlanta Hawks. But you just had that one piece that was there. That was just, it wasn't it wasn't fitting properly. So you threw that one piece away and you found the piece that was supposed to be there, and bam, this team started to look good.
Yeah, man. I think the trade of Trae Young, definitely, it's been the best thing that has happened to this franchise this season. And, not only that, but now you go into what we all know, the Hawks are not winning the NBA championship. I'm going to say that right now. But if they can get to a second round series and then take that momentum into the postseason, maybe, attract another free agent if the salary cap aligns. But then you've got those 2 first-round draft picks that are going to wind up being key players and big-time players for the Hawks because of the positions. I think they're both protected in top 10 lottery picks, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe even top 15, which even then, that's something that Onsi Salah and Quinn Snyder can build on for the future. And I'm excited about the Hawks franchise for the first time in a very long time.
Yeah, it's good to see, and honestly, because there's a lot that you can go into with this team, and something too that I made the comments with Booker last week. I think that Jalen Johnson is your key. He is the guy you build around 100%. He needs to have that extension that is signed for the rest of his life. I don't care. He is that kind of cat that I like to see.
Yeah, he's the real deal, Billy.
He plays, man.
Yeah.
It's good to see. So, Hawks they're down 100-94 with 4.5 to play. But
I got 197. So it's a 1 possession game right now. They're scrappy, man. They're scrappy.
Yeah.
I love it. I love watching them.
It's good to see, man, honestly. Yep. And this is another thing that I mentioned with Booker too. Something that I think might actually change the course of this franchise, not only Trae Young being gone, it is Trae Young being gone. The fact that there were people that I think we were sitting there, you, Bryce, myself, we're all like, why won't players come play in Atlanta? Atlanta is a great destination city.
Absolutely.
It's a great place to play.
Yeah.
Why won't people think? Let's see if this offseason turns some free agents over, because suddenly we had a piece that I don't think a lot of people really wanted to play with. And now he's in Washington, and we might have an opportunity to pick up some key free agents that might help us out tremendously.
Oh yeah, man, the future is bright, man. And I like I said, this is the first time, and I'm a Hawk fan. Okay, from Dominique to Nothing Can Stop Us, we're Atlanta's Air Force, you name it. Man, I grew up with the Hawks, Randy Whitman, John Concact, the whole kit caboodle. When they traded Dominique for Danny Manning, it broke my heart, So, I'm looking forward to seeing where they go.
3 minutes left to go. It's a 1-point game. It's 100-99.
Come on.
It's going to be
Jalen Johnson. Come on.
You know what else is this week, Patrick Henson?
What's that?
The NFL Draft. The NFL Draft begins Thursday, April the 23rd, live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We all know who the number 1 pick is going to be, right? It's Fernando Mendoza.
Yes, absolutely.
Quarterback out of Indiana. He will go to Las Vegas. It's a foregone conclusion at this point.
Winner
led Indiana to a 16-0 record. Tom Brady, who's a Raiders part owner, publicly said, "I love everything about his game."
What's not to love, man? The kid is gritty. Probably definitely the best quarterback talent that's available in this NFL draft this season. And I'm excited to see what that translates to. Now, of course, the bad thing is he got to go play for the Raiders, and the Raiders are in a full rebuild. So, what will the Raiders do to sort of, protect this kid, to really give him every opportunity to be successful? Because let's face it, the Raiders have not been a successful franchise for quite some time. And it'll be interesting to see, from the Falcon perspective. I didn't even know the draft was happening this week. That's how vanilla the Falcons are going to be in this draft. They have only 5 picks. They don't have a pick on day one. But let me say this. Ian Cunningham loves the draft, and if he could figure out a way to trade down and accumulate more picks, I think that's what you're going to see the Falcons do. But who knows? But yeah, it's NFL draft. At some point, I will sit down and watch some because I love NFL football. So, and it's turned into it's a 3-day event now. I mean, they're taking it to different cities, and they make it a jamboree, if you will, of NFL stardom, and so it's going to be a really cool event. Of course, I'll sit down and watch it, but the top 10 in the draft is going to be really interesting how that unfolds.
Well, hang on one second.
You serious, Clark?
None of this will be right, and we're still going to argue about it.
Got a bad feeling about this.
It's TM5's mock draft. The top 5 consensus across all mock drafts. Number 1 is going to be Fernando Mendoza to Las Vegas. Number 2, Arvell Reese, the edge rusher and linebacker from Ohio State, to the New York Jets. To the Cardinals at number 3, Francis Mauigoa, the offensive tackle from Miami. Number 4, Jeremiah Love, the running back from Notre Dame, to the Tennessee Titans. And number 5, the New York Football Giants will take wide receiver Carnell Tate from Ohio State. And that is the consensus top 5 for across all mock drafts. Now, I do have Dane Brugler's 7-round mock. And Dane Brugler, if you don't know, is probably one of the more respected mock draft guys and people who will cover the draft. Patrick, and you and I can talk about that all we want to, but I truly believe that he is the guy that I follow for sure. And he's got a 7-round mock, and I'll give you the 5 picks that he has for the Falcons.
Okay.
If I can get there. All right. You ready?
Yes.
At second round, pick number 48, Kristen Miller, defensive tackle from UGA.
I love it. The Falcons traded Rook Orororo just yesterday to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I believe they got Mason Smith in return from the Jags. They picked I heard somebody say today the Falcons picked up 40 pounds. That's exactly what they did. They got a guy that's bigger. And I think that goes into the profile that Ian Cunningham is looking for up front, and Christian Miller would just go along with that. And depending on certain circumstances, I know it. I know what you're looking at. Certain circumstances. Yeah, I know. It's driving me nuts. In certain circumstances, depending on what happens with James Pierce Jr., Christian Miller, Mason Smith, Jalen Walker, and James Pierce Jr., that could be an impressive front four. But that there's a lot to still unwind.
Still mentioning that.
That's a lot to unwind there still for James Pierce Jr. Who knows what's going to happen there? I've heard a couple of different things today that some folks think he may be back week 7 in the NFL season. So who knows?
Round 3, pick number 79, Bryce Lance, wide receiver out of North Dakota State.
I'm not really thrilled with that one because I think there'll probably be some other wide receivers in the 3rd round that would be, I don't know, that don't play at North Dakota State. And so I'm not a big fan of picking players from conferences that that don't play big time football in meaningful games. So I'm not a big fan of that North Dakota State pick.
Round number 4, pick 122, Jimmy Rolder, linebacker from Michigan.
Hey man, again, great pick, and I'm going to tell you why. And that's because it's a Big Ten school, man. It's a Big Ten school. And the reality is when you're picking players and you're killing me, and I'm seeing right now 107, 103.
10.2 seconds, 107 to 103. They just called it. The Knicks just called a timeout. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. Let's go, Quinn Snyder. Let's go.
One in New York. I love it.
I know it, man. Yeah, man. I'm super pumped. This is going to wind up being the series that everybody wants to cover, dude. I'm just telling you in this first round. It's going to be awesome. Go. Yeah, but all right. So back to the NFL draft. Anytime the Falcons could pick a player from the SEC or the Big Ten, I mean, let's face it, these players are playing big-time college football, and no matter what their role is. And so you get a player from a Michigan or Ohio State or Georgia or South Carolina or LSU or Florida. I mean, these guys, I mean, they're legitimate football players, and they have the ability, with coaching and preparation to be good NFL players, and players at North Dakota State don't. So, I mean, that, I'm not a big fan of cute picks anymore by my Atlanta Falcons.
Round 6, pick number 215, Carver Willis, offensive lineman from Washington.
Yeah, again, another good, solid pick, a player that basically was a solid offensive lineman at Washington, and you can't ever have too many offensive linemen, not only on your 45-man or 52-man or 53-man roster, but on your practice squad. And, with Caleb Geary retiring, oh my goodness, 106, 107, 107. Oh gosh, man, we're about to stroke out here, folks. This is terrible.
7.1 seconds left.
Oh my gosh.
And in round number 7, pick 231, Riley Nowakowski, the tight end from Indiana.
Hey man, Indiana, national champions. So why not? Right? I mean, there's been at least some murmurs about, hey, what if somebody comes along and says, hey, we would really like Kyle Pitts. What would it take? Ian Cunningham was said today, once again, hey, man, if somebody calls, we're going to listen to every call we get. And if somebody comes with the right sweeteners, man, for that sweet tea, I could see a Kyle Pitts trade. But, again, at the end of the day, as long as the Falcons are doing their due diligence and drafting players from conferences and schools that play competitive football, I'm not going to question those draft picks.
Dane Brudler's top 10. At number 10, Cincinnati Bengals select Mansour Delaney, the cornerback from LSU. At number 9, Kansas City Chiefs select Reuben Bain Jr., the edge rusher from Miami. The New Orleans Saints select Carnell Tate, from the wide receiver from Ohio State. Commanders at number 7 select Jeremiah Love, running back from Notre Dame. At number 6, Dallas Cowboys select Sonny Styles, the linebacker from Ohio State. At number 5, the Giants select Caleb Downs, the safety from Ohio State. Number 4, Tennessee Titans select David Bailey, the edge rusher from Texas Tech. Number 3, Arizona Cardinals select Francis Mauigoa, the offensive tackle from Miami. Arvell Reese at number 2 to the New York Jets, and the number 1 obviously will be Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah, can't go wrong with that top 10. I like that mock top 10.
Yeah, that's a look at the NFL draft coming up. Obviously, picks for the Falcons 48, 79, 122, 215, and 231. The top draft needs linebacker, wide receiver, defensive tackle.
I think the Hawks have pulled it off my bud. Am I right?
I don't know. I'm still watching, and I hope I'm behind and okay.
I'm getting 107, 106, end of fourth by ESPN.
Yes, sir. We got it.
Yeah, let's go, baby.
Final.
Let's go.
That's awesome.
It's awesome, man. I wish you had Nothing Could Stop Us right there on your soundboard right now. You could just play it. Gosh, Atlanta's Air Force, brother. Coming back.
It's a good day for the Atlanta
Katie,
Hawks.
if you don't know what I'm talking about, just go to YouTube and search Atlanta's Air Force, and you will know what I'm talking about. That's my childhood right there.
The Atlanta Hawks move to a 1-1 tie in the Eastern Conference quarters.
First round. Yeah, they call it the first round. Yeah, first round.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Man, I'm stoked, man. Love it.
It's a good win for the Hawks. We were down
Absolutely.
by as many as, I think, 13 at one point.
Yes.
Probably more. And the fact that we were able to come back and win that is big.
Yeah, it's huge, man. And I'm man, playoff basketball, man. I love it.
Let's get out to the Marine South scoreboard. On the Marine South scoreboard, the Hawks win 107-106 in the NBA.
Woo!
The Braves win 9-5. We don't have any high school scores right now because baseball starts on Wednesday for the playoffs. And we will have a breakdown tomorrow probably of the first-round matchups for our local teams. As for the Smith's Floor Coverings games and events calendar, nothing on Tuesday. Again, the first round begins on Wednesday for several teams, and then Friday for several more teams. So hopefully we'll have a very successful first round. I think everybody but Temple made the playoffs this year. So congratulations to 7 of our 8 teams that we cover, and 7 of the 8 teams that HSM covers, 8 of the 9 teams that TM5 covers, as Carrollton won their region as well. So
yep. Congratulations to head coach Trent Bianco. Yep, absolutely.
First time since 2021 region champs for the Carrollton Trojans. So good for them. All right. Let's get to another cup of coffee. Patrick, need another cup of coffee?
Absolutely.
Another cup of coffee brought to you by Realtor Hannah Strawn with Century 21 Novus. Garoppolo is considering retirement. Jimmy Garoppolo considering retirement, sources say.
Interesting. Makes me wonder if he's trying to leverage a situation that maybe is there for him. But, could be, hey, man, he's not a bad-looking fella, so he could go and, get a nice job in the media probably somewhere. And but he's had a nice career. But, he's probably still got something left in the tank. We'll see.
Victor Wembanyama captures his Defensive Player of the Year as the first unanimous winner ever.
That, to me, is the most amazing thing about Wemby winning Defensive Player of the Year. Being the first in the history of the NBA to win it as a unanimous choice. And now, Billy, if you go back and look at the list of winners, you would understand why that is amazing, because there have been some really great defenders win this trophy and didn't win unanimously. Dennis Rodman, for one. Back in the Bulls' heyday, Rodman was not only a great rebounder, but he was one heck of a defender. And to think that he didn't win unanimously during those Jordan years is unbelievable. And only Michael Jordan only won the award once. So I was looking before the show, and I was like, what? Jordan only won this thing one time? Oh my goodness. But, Mutombo, Dwight Howard. The list is endless. in terms of players who were dominant on the defensive end of the floor in the NBA in their primes during their eras, and they weren't unanimous winners. So, I mean, this is a big, big deal. Or maybe it's just an indictment on the lack of defense that's played in the NBA.
It could be. It could be very well. Dodgers Diaz to have elbow surgery will miss months.
If I could play a trumpet, I would play it for him right now.
Listen, I will say this publicly. I do not like to see people get injured.
No, I don't either. Yeah.
However,
I'm not crying. I'm not crying in my.
What happened to a nicer franchise?
Yes, that's what I said. I'm not crying over it. We could probably get into a very long discussion about the Dodgers and how they structure contracts and et cetera, et cetera. I don't particularly care for it, but hey, it's working for them. And until Major League Baseball can get their arms around it, they're going to continue to do what they've been doing. And, they're going to be successful, man. And Edwin Diaz going down like that, that's a big loss. It would be a big loss no matter what franchise, but Dodgers will figure out a way, I'm sure.
PGA Tour is actively working on trying to figure out how they will allow LIV players to come back as the LIV Tour is burning to the ground.
Yay! Where's Brandel Chambly when you need him? I bet when he found this story out, he couldn't stop dancing the jig. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I couldn't. Man, I was just like, I was so happy. I even sent you the story, and you're like, yeah, I know.
Listen, I'll be the first to tell you, I haven't watched more than, I think when LIV first came out, I watched probably one round of.
And you are probably the average American golf fan. Probably only watched one round of LIV, which is why they're dying the death they're dying.
I haven't watched many since then. The only thing that I've seen has been clips on social media, whether it be TikTok or YouTube. You see those pop up. Outside of that, you really don't see it. Now, I've paid attention to some of my favorite players. Like, I love Jon Rahm. I love Bryson DeChambeau. I love some of these players. I've always admired them. Listen, Brooks Koepka is being welcomed back with open arms because the dude paid $5 million back to the PGA.
Yeah, sure. Right. And Patrick Reed is going to ultimately be able to go back on because he'll probably finish in the top 10 in the DP World Tour over in Europe, and so and that's one. If he can do that, then he'll be welcome back next year. Of course, I think he has to pay the monetary fine as well. I'll tell you what I hate in the grand scheme of this LIV versus PGA discussion. Here's what I hate is that there are some players that played on LIV the last couple seasons that lost it's going to tarnish their long-term legacies in the game of golf. And that's what golf is about. And I think when we first had our discussions about LIV and the PGA Tour, I think I said during that discussion with you, I said, look, these guys they're costing themselves legacy by not participating on the PGA Tour. And number one, and then number two, in those tournaments, they will be able to play in these majors. You're going to see that they're not tournament ready golf players anymore. And, and they're not. I mean, there's some exceptions. Tyrrell Hatton had a pretty good Masters. Patrick Reed, even though he's on the DP World Tour now, he had himself a really good Masters. I just really think playing that style of golf, which it's not tournament golf, it's anything but that. It's exhibition golf. And I think players paid for that. I mean, and I'm excited, I'm excited that these players are going to wind up coming back ultimately to the PGA Tour. Now, my HR down the hall moment on this thing is I'm so glad that the Saudi the public investment fund, that those folks are pulling out.
Yeah.
It just makes me wonder what the initial motivation was to do this. What really brought all of this about in the first place, and those guys obviously took the money, and so they've got a lot. I'm not going to feel bad for those guys because they all got rich doing it. How they got rich, that's the thing that makes me go, oh, man, why did you take that money? But, who's to say I wouldn't have done it? That's a lot of money, dude. Generational wealth type money. And so, you can't fault those guys for that. But, Liv going away, I think, is going to be at the end of the day, it's going to be the best thing long range for the PGA Tour.
In other news, the Dallas Cowboys are continuing to do Dallas Cowboys things and make a kicker, the highest paid kicker in NFL history, with a 4-year deal for Brandon Aubrey, averaging $7 million a year.
Wow. Is that fully guaranteed? Do you know if that's fully guaranteed?
I've agreed to a 4-year extension, makes him the first kicker to earn $7 million, includes $20 million guaranteed.
Holy mackerel! Wow, man, that's making my nose itch, dude. That's unbelievable. $20 million guaranteed for a kicker.
Good for the Cowboys.
I wonder how Peyton Manning feels about that. Yeah. He's a huge fan of kickers.
Speaking of the PGA Tour, this PGA Tour will boot both Hawaii events from their 2027 schedule.
That's a head scratcher a little bit, because it's kind of been a tradition to have those events to open the season on the PGA Tour in January, late December, early January. So, it'll be interesting to see where they go with that. If they may add some, other type of signature events at other locations here in the continental U.S. or in North America somewhere. But I hate it. I hate it for the state of Hawaii because obviously those are, events that can draw people to your state, so.
For sure. And finally, on this day, way back in 1904, Charles Jetmore was a mere 20-year-old. Ty Cobb makes his professional debut for the Augusta Tourist in the South Atlantic League.
Do you think Coach Jetmore was at that game trying to tell Ty Cobb what to do from the front row?
No, because he had already began kayaking down the Mississippi.
I can just hear it now. Don't let him intimidate you now. Stay in the box. Stay in the box.
They just Rudy Poos.
Yeah, just make them throw strikes. Make them throw those strikes now. You can't give up. You can't give another out here.
I love me some Charles Jetmore.
I do too, man. Going to call games at Mount Zion. Oh, my goodness. Unbelievable.
That's it. Patrick, you got anything else for us, buddy?
No, man. This was fun. Looking forward to doing it some more with you, man. I felt a little rusty coming in, so hopefully we'll get a little bit looser as we get back in the saddle and have a little more fun.
I hear alcohol does a good job of that.
Whoa.
Oh.
Hey, now.
For Patrick Edson, I am Billy Lindahl. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Same time. Well, maybe tomorrow. Same time, same place. Ish.
Maybe. Ish.
Bye now.